dear students, today we'll be learning about electrolysis. In this lesson, we will focus on the theoretical part and also the practical part. So let's start with our today's lesson. The keywords used in this lesson are ionic, electrolysis, brine and half equations, and some more important ones which we will come across during the lesson. Let's go to the word ionic. Ionic means when a metal reacts with a non-metal, it forms ionic substances. For example, in our today's lesson we are having sodium chloride, which is NaCl2, normal table salt, here sodium is a metal while chlorine is a non-metal, and sodium is a positive charged ion and chlorine is a negative charged ion. These ions can be broken down using the help of electric current. When electric current is passed through them, they are broken down. That is why we say that we come to the lesson electrolysis, which means breakdown of ionic substances into smaller form so that it using the help of electric current. And for this process, ions must be free to move in any solution, molten solution or water. Now let's pay attention to the word brine. Please pay attention to the diagram. The diagram of electrolysis takes place like this. We have a beaker or a dish, let's say, which contains what? Water. In this water, we have to add our sodium chloride. When sodium chloride is mixed in water, it forms a solution. You have to keep mixing sodium chloride until it becomes a saturated solution. Now, we are going to pass an electricity, but before that, let's have our electrodes. What is an electrode? An electrode is a metal which is made up of graphite, and it helps for the process of electricity to pass. Here we have our battery, which is connected to the positive and the negative. The negative one reaches one electrode and the positive one is connected to the second electrode. This suspension of sodium chloride is called as brine. In this solution, we have NaCl2 plus 2H2O, water, which gives us, and this is in the form of aqueous, this is in the form of liquid or aqueous you can say, and we get as a result sodium chloride reacts with water when electricity is passed to form sodium hydroxide, chlorine gas and hydrogen gas. During this process, the negative charged particles and the positive charged particles will react to its opposite attraction and take the negative part here on the positive electrode, and the negative will take the positive. Here hydrogen is positive, so hydrogen will come towards the up as it is become weak and move in the form of hydrogen gas, while chlorine will come to the negative positive part because it is negative and come in the form of chlorine gas.
Okay, sir. How can we know that is hydrogen and this is
chlorine gas? Okay. Now, as you have learned before in chemistry, hydrogen gas when produced can be identified using the matchstick. A lighted matchstick has to be put in front of the hydrogen gas. When it is produced, it will give a pop sound. Presence of pop sound says that the hydrogen gas has been produced. While in the chlorine gas, you need to use a blue litmus paper. When added to the chlorine gas, it becomes blue, and then blue becomes red, and then suddenly tries to bleaches out. That says that chlorine gas has been produced. As we can see, the reactions taking place at each electrode is called half equation. Reactions taking place at each electrode, that is production of hydrogen gas and chlorine gas, is called half equation. Let us look at an equation, how it is written. I am having 2 hydrogen positive will add 2 electrons giving me H2. While here I will be having 2 chlorine, that is negative, which will react with 2 electrons to give me Cl2. So basically what happens, this reaction takes place at the cathode. This reaction takes place at the anode. What are cathode and anode? Cathode is the negative charged electrode, anode is the positive charged electrode. Now, what happens basically here is the hydrogen ions gains an electron. How many? 2 electrons. It gains 2 electrons and later gets converted into hydrogen molecule, hydrogen atoms. Hydrogen atom join together to form hydrogen gas as molecule, and H2 is formed in the form of gas. What happens in chlorine? The chlorine loses 2 electrons. After losing, it forms into chlorine atoms and join together to form molecules of chlorine, which is also in the form of gas. And these gases come out at our both electrodes at the respective places. That is, at cathode you will have the hydrogen gas produced, and at anode you will be produced with the chlorine gas.
So what is written in the brackets?
Which one? These?
Yes.
Okay. These words which are written in the bracket is a short form of how the solution or the chemical compound should be present inside the beaker. NaCl should be produced in the form of aqueous solution and water is liquid. That is why we have written it here. Sodium later produces sodium hydroxide. Both these things are present inside the beaker in the form of liquid. Chlorine and hydrogen, which is written as Gg, which means gas, because it is going to come out in the form of gas. Fine? So this is about our lesson on theory, the theoretical part on electrolysis. Now we will come forward to the practical part.
Start.
Okay. Now to the practical area. In this area, the materials that we require are a cutter or a plier, DC motor wires, a DC battery of 9 volts. I am using as an electrode my graphite from a pencil which I have taken. If you are not able to do it, then it's okay. You can use nibs for the mechanical pencil. Tape, a small bottle in order to collect the hydrogen gas to make a test of the pop sound, a small bottle or a transparent half cup so that I can add the water inside and make the solution of brine. We need some matchstick to find out the hydrogen gas pop sound, a glue for, I'll tell you the reason why now. First, I'll be taking my nibs. This is a box that contains 12 nibs. So for each electrode, I'll be using about 6 nibs. These 6 nibs, I will join them together between my fingers and apply some glue to it. Maybe a drop so that all of them are rigidly attached together. After that, they will be looking somehow like this. Join together 6, one electrode and my second electrode.